When Elliot Rowe received a letter informing him that he had inherited property from a man named Walter Jonas, he assumed it was a clerical error. The envelope was yellowed and thick, addressed in tidy cursive, and arrived without fanfare on a Tuesday evening while he was heating soup and scanning job listings with the half-hope of a man who had mostly given up. He almost tossed it aside, mistaking it for another debt notice or scam, but something about the name Walter Jonas made him pause. He didn't know anyone by that name, not in the present or the past. His mother had never mentioned him, and Elliot had never known his father. Still, the curiosity gnawed at him, and by the end of the week, with a tangle of questions and a creeping sense of inevitability, he was driving north through winding mountain roads toward a place called Lake Conemaugh. The lake, when he reached it, was vast and silent, its surface unmoving despite the wind. A thick fog clung to the water and woods, as if trying to hide something beneath. The townsfolk offered no comfort. When he asked about the house, their expressions shifted from confusion to unease. An elderly waitress at the diner muttered that place wasn't built to float. It chooses to. While a man at the gas station avoided his eyes and said only, "If it called you back, it's because it remembers." Eventually, he found someone willing to help. June, a weathered woman with sharp eyes and a quiet demeanor, ferried supplies to the lake's smaller islands. "I'll take you to it," she said, handing him a flask. "But I won't go past the dock. Not anymore." The house came into view slowly, looming through the fog. It sat like a ship frozen in time. An enormous Victorian structure perched on what looked like a base of dark metal or stone. It didn't bob or drift. It didn't creak or moan. It simply hovered over the water, unmoving, as though rooted into something deep beneath the lake's surface. The dock trembled faintly under his feet as he stepped off the boat, the old iron key cold and unfamiliar in his pocket. When he placed it in the front door's lock, it clicked open with a smoothness that sent a shiver down his spine. Inside, the air was dense with age. Wood, damp fabric, faint electricity. The rooms were frozen in time. Furniture draped in white cloths, shelves of yellowing books, clocks that had stopped decades ago. In the main hallway hung a portrait of a man standing on the dock outside. Tall, stern, eyes filled with something unreadable. "Walter Jonas, 1964, read the small brass plate. A chill moved down Elliot's spine. In a side room, likely a study, he found journals. Dozens, all handwritten. They documented everything from tidal anomalies in the lake to entries that bordered on obsession. Diagrams of a gravitational field beneath the house, formulas attempting to explain how the foundation floated without resistance, and notes that hinted at something called the return threshold. Tucked inside one of the journals was a photo. A woman holding a newborn in her arms. On the back, "To my son, Elliot." The letters were in the same tidy script as the envelope. Something cracked open inside him. He flipped through more pages, heart pounding, uncovering local news clippings about strange disappearances around the lake. One in particular hit him like a fist to the chest. Local boy vanishes in forest, reappears 4 days later, 1997. The photo was grainy, but it was him. He had no memory of it, just a vague sense of loss, like an untended wound. His mother never spoke of it. In the attic, he uncovered boxes labeled with initials. One read E. Rowe. Inside were unsent letters, dozens of them, all addressed to him, all written by Walter. Some were pleas for forgiveness. Others were filled with warnings. The final letter was dated 2 months before Walter's death. "If you've come back," it read, "you're strong enough now. The house will let you in." Beneath the floorboards in the attic, he found a narrow staircase leading down, impossibly deep, to a corridor lined with thick copper wiring and dim red lights. At the end of the passage was a reinforced vault door with a biometric scanner. A note taped to it said, "For Elliot Rowe only." He hesitated, then pressed his palm to the glass. The door clicked open. Inside was a small concrete room. No windows, no furniture, just a metal chair and an old projector. As he stepped inside, the door shut behind him. The projector buzzed to life, and an image flickered on the far wall. Walter Jonas appeared. Older, tired, but lucid. "If you're watching this, then I'm gone, and you've returned. You always would." Walter explained that he had built the house to study the anomaly in the lake. Something ancient, something that seemed to bend time around itself. The floating platform was not a man-made invention. It was discovered. The house had been constructed atop it not to contain the anomaly, but to harness it. "It remembers everything," Walter said. "It keeps what we forget. And you, Elliot, you were always part of it. You were born here." The projector sputtered and died. Elliot sat for a long time in silence. Beneath him, the ground pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. The walls hummed with a current not entirely mechanical. The house wasn't just a building. It was a machine, a memory engine, and somehow, it was alive. As he climbed back to the main floor, the air felt different. The furniture had subtly shifted. A door he hadn't noticed before was now open. Inside was a crib, empty but clean. On the wall hung a mobile of stars and moons. Elliot stood still, feeling the weight of the past close around him, not as chains, but as roots. He wasn't just inheriting a house. He was reclaiming a part of himself that had been left behind, deliberately or not. He understood now why the lake had called him, why the house had waited. It had remembered him, and now it would not let him go.